and do the intro because we're not doing the intro.
But you gotta hit the button.
I gotta hit the button. I've hit the button. I've hit the button. We're
Gotta
live.
hit the button. It's
We're
a
live.
button. When there's a button, you hit the button.
I have so many buttons to push.
He's got like a whole
Got a little little
mix board
thing, and then the mix board over here, buttons. Oh yeah, it reminds me I need to hit record. And I don't hear any gremlins, so that's a good thing. Oh, we do have our first person coming on. That's pretty good. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Mike? Yeah, it is.
It's always Mike.
Followed quickly by Tori. That's awesome. What's up, guys? It's jeeplife podcast, and Trail Time Terry and Breaky Billy are here, and we're joined in the studio from 3,000 miles away. Tanner Ricks.
That's really far.
Well, I don't know if it's quite 3,000.
Probably not. We're not Florida, Utah. I mean, I'm not Cali.
What's up, Steven? And we're slowly gaining people as we go along. And, we had some technical gremlins, and I apologize. It all comes down to one little piece, a little dongle, if you will, because, iPhones don't have headphone jacks anymore.
Yeah,
and I'm perfectly fine with that.
I'm not.
But, because most everything I do is Bluetooth as it is. But for this particular instance, on our mix board, there's a cable, and it has the dongle permanently attached to it. And that dongle walked away.
Vanished.
It left town. It said, "I'm out of here, bitches."
Yeah, it's in Kutztown.
It's in Kutztown. with Dr. Don. Thieving Don.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don's not feeling
Do
it.
we hear that? We hear that, right? The bong.
I hear it, but I don't know what it is.
I don't know where it is and where it's coming from. I'm going to put this over here. A little more further out of the way. I
don't know.
I almost wore my Rockslide Engineering t-shirt tonight, but it's dirty. And I didn't want to smell like whatever it is I used to smell like when I wore it. Yeah. I'm thoughtful.
We'll get you two. Have a clean and a dirty one.
I need that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, matter of fact, I got this one right before we went to the parade in SEMA. What's the guy's name that was running around throwing them out?
Price Justin.
Yeah. He was. He came by and I go, I don't know if you're going to have a shirt to fit me. He goes, I might. And like 5 minutes later, one gets thrown through. It was awesome. I was so excited. What's up, Dave? How you doing? Pypes is in the house. Bad echo from the guest. Oh, Tanner, you got a bad echo. That's good info. Are you running on headphones?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
That is. Let's see.
I can go away from the headphones if you prefer.
No, headphones is good, so you can hear everything. But is it? You're using Bluetooth headphones?
Yes, I am.
That might be the culprit.
Speaker.
Yeah, give that a try and see what it does. See if we catch it an echo.
I got you loud and clear.
That sounds good to me. I can't tell from everybody else. We'll get a notification. People like to tell us how bad we do and how much we suck.
Perfect. So let us know.
Yeah, throw it in the comments if it's still there. Better, worse, non-existent. I'm just happy we're here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we made it.
We made it. Worse echo we're getting. Worse echo. Oh yeah. Worst echo ever. Yeah. Now you're hearing us through his earbuds.
Now it's Terry. That's so weird.
She's off.
Yeah, this is always those technical gremlins that jump in because we don't have a way to test this until we actually go live.
Is that better? My Bluetooth's off, going through the phone only.
Let's see.
It sounds better, like on our side.
Yeah, well, we don't know until our listeners respond.
Right.
There you go. Well, I guess I'll just keep rambling then.
Keep rambling.
Yeah.
Christina, how you doing? Now it's me, but I think that was coming through the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
We should be good now.
Dave, Mike, tell me what you're hearing. Steven, is it better, worse, non-existent? Everyone is echoing. Well, I can't fix everyone. Because I'm only getting one out. Still there. Let's see. Terry and Billow echoing through the guest speaker. Tanner, do you have the computer muted?
Guess what? We do now.
I see it now. I get a notification on the screen. Guest has muted themselves.
There we go. Now
there it is. That should take care of it.
That's the gremlin.
My bad.
All right, so I'm relying on everybody to let me know if it's taking success. There we go. Everybody says it's better.
Well,
Awesome.
I'll turn it up. I was like, I had you guys turned down and everything.
Love it. All right, everybody says it's good.
Perfect.
I'm going to trust everybody, and we're ready to go. I'm really, really excited about this. We've been I was trying to tie this up for a while, so I'm excited about this. What you need?
My phone. Give me
your phone's over here.
It's connected. I called you, bud.
Game.
No, you can't shop on it while we do the show.
Well, no, I was looking. Actually wanted to use it for the calendar. So let me just see your phone.
Yeah.
He's like, I need to check tracking.
No, so sometimes Terry, well, he always sends out a light agenda, but it says ultimate 4x4 field trip dates for next year.
Yeah.
And I was going to give you the dates, or that whenever we got there.
You need a calendar? Or?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a calendar.
Or, never mind.
Don't you have a calendar on your computer, on that fancy computer over there?
All right, it's been a long day.
Can it do more than one thing at a time?
Never.
Can you do more than one thing at a time?
No, that's the problem here.
I agree.
All right.
All right, I think we're ready to kick things off.
Cool.
Is everybody ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, cool.
I'm ready.
All right. Well, we just got a call in, and I'm super stoked about this.
Ding-ling-ling-ling.
We've got Tanner Ricks on the line with us, and Tanner, I'm in love with your job title, and it looks like off-road enthusiast in sales for Rock Slide Engineering.
I need that title.
What I do.
That's a pretty accurate title, right?
I mean, that's a head minion. You could add that in there.
Head minion. I'm going to add that in there. Tanner, man, it's good to see you. I know that just a few weeks ago we were hanging out in SEMA, but it's good to see you again.
Yeah, usually.
I'm glad we were able to lock this up. I know we had some technical glitches, and they were all on our end until we undid those glitches, and then you brought some new gremlins in.
Yep. Then we figured out those.
I have to mess with them a little bit.
Yeah, you can't make it go too smooth, right?
I've never.
I love it. I love your shirt. I was going to wear mine so we could be twinsies, and
You should have.
it was dirty. I know we haven't gotten quite good enough to do the podcast in smell-o-vision, so I could have been fine.
Let's not. I have to sit next to you.
I know, right?
I'll take your word.
So let our listeners know what. Well, we know what an off-road enthusiast is, but what do you do at Rockslide? Because you do so many cool things.
At Rockslide, really, I'm lucky because I get to do the things I love. I get to still build vehicles and wheel and spend the time behind the wheel, but I also am fortunate enough to travel around and go to the shows and meet all the awesome people that we get to see across the way from really East Coast to West Coast. So I've kind of done it all.
That's awesome. I know that I put around 12,000 miles in travel this year, driving whatever vehicle I had to take to shows. Mm-hmm. And I think you topped that probably.
Oh, I did that on one Bronco.
That's a weekend.
Yeah, that's 4 or 5 trips to California and back. I mean,
yeah,
that's easy. I mean, it's funny. You're like 12,000 miles. I'm like, okay, that's a few trips. That's a couple months.
Yeah, and then that's pretty much what it was. Well, the summer shows, I was lucky enough that East Coast, right, and not having to go very far, right, and then went out to Easter Jeep Safari, and then to SEMA. So those are the two big ones. Mm-hmm. But I didn't have to go to the West Coast, or I didn't get to go. I think that's probably the better way, to say that. So you get to go to the shows and show off the vehicles and talk about the product. Is that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the life. I get to go and see people and really be involved. And I also get to put the vehicles together. And, I've got a guy that's working there in the shop with us, and he's an artist. I just feed him and get out of his way. And he makes me look good. I mean, I like I say, I spend a lot of time on the road driving. That's one thing we drive a lot of our vehicles.
Yeah.
All over too. So I finished one in 7 days and it left for Florida.
Wow.
That's
so, and knock on wood, we've been very fortunate. No, not too many calls from the side of the road. So.
Well, I mean, literally the SEMA build, you finished and drove it straight to SEMA. Is that right?
Yeah, I drove it around just a couple days before. Retorqued everything. The wheels showed up like the day before I left. We hurried and mounted those and got them all done. And I drove it to St. George, and part of the way down, I'm like, I smell cooling. So I pull over. A good friend, Will, I stopped at his house and was able to just tighten up a hose clamp. That's all it was.
Sometimes easy things are what snag you up, right?
It was the hardest hose clamp to get to.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
It could have been an easy one, but I was able to just swing by and stop in. He opened up the garage to a full set of tools, and we tightened it up quick. I drove it down. I stopped in St. George. That's where my parents have a house there. Mm-hmm. So I tend to stay there and changed out the brake-in fluid and everything because that's where it was at. And then drove to SEMA, and I had no issues. It was great.
That was
a brand new engine, brand new portal axles.
Yeah, that rig was pretty awesome.
So give our listeners, I saw some pictures of it and everything. So it's 74 weld portal axles. What else is on that?
So we started with the JT with the 3.6, and at Rockslide, everything needs a V8. So we called the guys at Bruiser and got a 6.6, their new kit with the transmission. It's the same one they use in like a 392.
Okay.
And
you said a 6.6?
Yeah, 6.6.
Yeah,
6.
Okay.
There was no room left under that hood.
Just over 400 cubic inches.
Yeah, there's no replacement for displacement.
And I mean, 17 miles a gallon on the way there, 80 miles an hour, radio jamming. I mean, it was cool.
Yeah.
Initially we were gonna tow it, and then we're like, well, we only have like 2 trailers that this thing will fit on, and they're in Moab, so I'm like, I'm driving the thing.
Yeah. So what's the? Do you know like some of the dimensions? Like, what's the overall width with the new portal axles? Like, how much does that increase?
Because I'd have to put a tape measure.
Okay.
It's wide. It's full width wide.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've got negative offset wheels. They're 5.5-inch back space. To try to set them in, and it's still. We had some other wheels on it, and it was goofy. It was like so wide, or like I could barely post pictures of this thing. It's crazy wide. But I just gave you the keys and you hopped in. It's quiet. It drives so nice that you'd be like, what's done to this?
Yeah.
Like it's really impressive.
Yeah.
And that's
with the portal axles.
Cool.
With the portal axles, you actually gain height and width out of those, right?
Yeah. I believe it's about 7 inches of width. You're just shy of 4 inches of ground clearance on the axle side.
Yep. And then also there's a gear reduction in it as well.
Right.
So
22%.
Wow.
Yeah. That's impressive.
It's amazing. Like, I got it all back. We checked everything over, and it was a Friday, so we were able to get a few different vehicles out and go drag race them. And so me and all the owners, a brand new, it was a Ford Raptor, a 392 JL, this JT we just built, and I mean, it's on triple bypass shocks from Bilstein, and I mean, there's a bunch of bumps and stuff in the road, and we're just like aiming for them as we're drag racing. I mean,
it's just soaking it up.
It was so much fun. I mean, like, that's when you're like, yeah, I work for Rockslide. I'm very proud to work for Rockslide because we're out drag racing on a Friday. Like, with the owners, like, they're all there. In fact, the new Ford Raptor, it's fast. I'll say it. They're fast. Yeah. Not 392 fast, but they're fast.
Huh.
Yeah.
These are my kind of people.
Definitely, these are your kind of people. I love that side of it, and I know that you're personally involved with those. Your knowledge of those vehicles is pretty outstanding. I loved that rig. It was gorgeous. It's red.
Yeah.
So
hashtag Team Red.
I'm right in on that.
Yeah.
But that's now is one of the owners is going to drive it.
Yeah. So that's Dave. He's the big boss. He's the decision maker, and he gets it. I mean, he likes the big motors. It was cool because before I even worked for Rockstead, I built a lot of their vehicles. So I worked for a company called Accurate Automotive, and we were kind of the local company. I ran Mount Logan off-road. It was kind of their off-road side of it. And that's really how I kind of got tied in with Rockslide, is I put all their vehicles together. I built the Yellow Willies. We put it together in 4 months.
Whoa. So that's Roxanne, right? That's Roxanne.
That's Roxanne, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was recently rolled.
I was going to say, Roxanne got put on her head.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't me. I want to clear that up. I did not do that.
Wasn't me.
If you'd have been behind the wheel, maybe
it would have been
maybe.
Me.
But I saw where it was rolled, and I still am questioning how did that happen. You don't have.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I can't tell you. I wasn't there.
But it doesn't look like a place that I would.
Out.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like a place that you would roll.
You know, with the motor that's in there,
yeah,
it's easy to get excited with it. It's got a 500 horsepower LS3.
in a vehicle that probably weighs what, 3,600 pounds, if that.
Well, it's on a JK frame, right?
Yeah, it's a JK frame. It's got Terraflex axles, King shocks.
Okay.
LS3 with a 4065. It was a GM drop-in engine.
Yeah. So you can stand
48 gears, Atlas. I mean, it's what you'd want in an old truck, and sometimes you just run out of talent.
It happens.
You know.
All right, so
in the Rick family, we have a saying called "Go big and tow home."
Oh,
I like that.
Wow, that's a great one.
That's a really good one.
That might need to go on the next Break It Billy shirt.
That sounds, yeah.
Go big and tow home. I mean, that's 15 years in the making.
Wow.
That's a good one.
Had a 2-door Cherokee that we didn't think would make it through the family trip in Moab, and the last day I decided I'm going to jump it.
I think I've seen that video.
Well, if you're going to break it,
you got to do it
don't
right.
break it so bad that we can't get it to the trailer.
Yeah.
I said, we can go big because we can tow it home.
I love it. These are your kind of people.
I've got towed home. Yeah, I usually, I'm that guy too.
Keep in mind, this Jeep was once on fire. A homemade lift kit from a 16-year-old with the assistance of my older brother.
Nice.
But I drove it onto the trailer. So
it's all that matters. I'm surprised I haven't been on fire yet.
That's the one thing you have, and you've been leaking gas. you have all the makings of burning something up.
Yeah.
So you've been building for quite some time, then, right?
I call it tinkering.
Yeah, tinkering in a big way.
I mean, my older brother had a '99 Cherokee, and I used to always just kind of go out with him and his friends. He worked in the off-road industry. He was building vehicles, and I just kind of followed him around. And then one day he decided he was going to sell this Cherokee, and I'm like, well, I'll buy it. And I was probably, like, say, 16, 17 years old in high school.
Yeah.
I had 35-inch tires.
Oh, yeah.
And back then, 35s were big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had lockers. I had 35s. I had a long arm kit. I mean, I thought I had a pretty hot unit. And I drove that thing everywhere. That was the go-to, the old 99. And I ended up selling it and getting into cars. So I built a few Mustangs, put a bunch of nitrous through them.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, this is fun and all, but you can't, like, take your family in a car and go race. It doesn't really work.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Then my brother decided. So when he sold his Cherokee, he bought an LJ. And I'm like, that's like the coolest Jeep ever built.
Yes.
Like, one day I'll have an LJ. And then one day he decided, well, I'm going to sell it. I'm like, sold. And I'm like, how much do you want? And he told me. So I went to the bank and I brought him $2,000 less than what he was asking.
The brother discount.
Of course. And I said, brother tax, and he rolled his eyes and said, okay. And that's actually the LJ I still have now.
And as of right now, it's sitting on 32s. Is that right? You went big, right?
No, that's the YJ.
Oh, okay.
So the LJ, it's on 39s.
Nice.
Coilovers. I stretched it. It took me 2 years to put that one together.
Oh, wow. So how long did you go with it? What's the wheelbase on it?
It's 111.
Okay. Yeah. That's borderline JKU. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
What, 4 inches short of JKU?
5.
Yeah,
116 is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where there's a good friend I grew up with. His name's Dave Hansen. We all call him Hog. but I worked with him riding the bus into sweep and scrub toilets when I was a kid before I could drive, even till today. And so he works at Rockside with us now. And I mean, he's the mastermind behind everything I'm doing.
Nice.
So, I mean, really, without him, the vehicles wouldn't work as good as they do. I can put them together, I can make them work, but he's the one that keeps me in check and make sure everything's 100% before it leaves.
Yeah, you got to have that right hand person that's
Absolutely.
kind of filling in the gaps that we leave behind, right?
He's an artist. I mean, shout out to him because, like I say, really from 13, 14 years old, riding the bus in and riding home with my dad, my brother, when he was working in the off-road shop. I mean, that's where I met Dave, and progressively he's a mile from the house. And whenever I'm working on the Jeep, I call him and, what are you doing? Working on the Jeep? Yeah, okay. So we get to hang out, and it's cool. He's incredibly talented.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's cool.
That's real cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you've done some Battle of the Builders, right?
Yeah, so Roxanne was actually my first. That they brought it to us, they dropped it off, and like I said, we threw it on JK frame, put the big motor in and the axles, and got everything done. And it was just over 4 months, I believe. Went straight down, went to Battle of the Builds. We took it to Moab one trip before that just to make sure it worked.
Yep.
And 2016 SEMA, it attended and made top 25.
Nice.
That's huge.
So it was in the book that they handed out when you were walking in the door and you were able to go see it. It was in the Ramsey booth that year.
Oh, wow.
That's really cool.
That's very cool.
And, it's kind of crazy. That all happened. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Like, top 25. And there was like 200 participants that year.
Yeah.
And the guy that won from Rockslide to his shop's a block away.
Wow. Really?
Wow.
Yep. His name's Tam Miller, and he built a beautiful Camaro.
Yeah.
And, it's just funny because we're like, growing up, I remember riding my bike past the park, and what's that smell? Oh, that's paint. And you knew Cam was in there airbrushing and doing all kinds of stuff. And years later, he happened to win SEMA the same year that we placed top 25. So it was pretty cool.
That's really cool. I was around for the Battle of the Build this year with Greg and Eric, and our JTE, but it gets really ramped up and exciting like really quick. And for someone, Greg's pretty experienced in it and been around for a while. And then I met this kid who built the blue Corvette that was on the stage, and I'm like, how cool is it that this young kid is doing this? And you've got Greg on the other hand, and they do
Greg's old.
Yeah, he's my age ish, right?
No, honestly, Greg really brought it into perspective.
Yeah.
Seeing top 40 for Greg and seeing his reaction really kind of brought into perspective what Roxanne really did.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we made top 25. Like, okay, or like the 24th loser. Like, that's
right.
cool.
Yeah.
And I was young. That was a long time ago for me.
You're right.
In my off-road career, I'm pretty new. But to see Greg get that excited kind of put into perspective, like, okay, Roxanne did do something.
Yeah.
And it was cool to see.
I mean,
congrats to Greg. I mean, to see a new vehicle make it into the Battle of the Builds, like, that doesn't happen.
Right. That never, and to be a
right.
an off-road new vehicle
mm-hmm.
is even kind of a bigger deal, right?
The off-road world's booming right now.
Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's so many cool things. And so Roxanne is going to come back to life. Is that right?
Yeah, I've been collecting parts all week. Got a wagon, which was 45 minutes from the house. There's a good friend of ours, Rick Prater, and he's gone out there and done the Ultimate Adventure a few times.
Oh yeah.
Multiple vehicles, but I put a post up and just said, "Hey, it's time. I'm looking for parts," and I mean, just the amount of tags and messages and everything. I got a pickup that was 10 minutes from the shop, a wagon that was 45 minutes away, and we're going to cut it apart, and big things coming for it. New axles, new coilovers. Well, coilovers. Never been on coilovers. But yeah, 42s, new cab, stretched. We're going to do an extended cab so someone as tall as me fits.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Shorten the bed up a little bit. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we can put it back in the battle of the builds and make top 25 again. That's the goal, really.
That would be awesome.
That would be.
Yeah.
I think keep it yellow. Roxanne's always been yellow. But yeah, 2016, it's been on the rock since then, and it'll be back.
Nice. Cool. I like that. I mean, it's such a distinctive look. I mean, when you look at it, you go, man, I want to wheel that. Right. I want to spend time in that.
And it's crazy capable.
Yeah.
Like, the places I took that thing, I drove it to Canada, pulling a trailer, and I did overlanding. I took it through, the Fallen and San Hollow, which is rated a 9, and it's got its bumps and bruises and stuff like that, but it's never left me stranded. And I'd take off to Canada tomorrow if you told me I could.
Right. Nice. Oh, I know that your parents live near Sand Hollow. I mean, like there.
Yeah. So their house is like, you walk out their front door and you're looking at the backside of the reservoir.
Wow.
And on the other side of the water is where we go. So we spend a lot of time in Sand Hollow.
Is that your favorite place to wheel? Or where's your favorite place to wheel?
Sand Hollow for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go out and you can run a 10 with buddies that you're like, yeah, we're scraping body panels and we're, on the borderline of breaking stuff. And then in 30 minutes, you can be back to the house and have lunch and cool off. And you're like, okay, let's go back out, but let's go run a 5 because someone's with us that doesn't have a bigger vehicle or they don't have experience. And the amount of people I took through the park to see day 1 to day 3 with them.
Yeah.
They're a whole new driver by the time you hit day 3. They're confident, like they figured it out. But Sand Hollow, you will also get in a bad way quick.
Oh,
real quick.
Yeah.
So earlier we mentioned we were looking for a cable and trying to make this all work. And there was a good friend of ours, his fuel pump relay went out. So we left him on the hill, ran to the local Napa. From my parents' house, my brother-in-law hooked up his drone and flew in the fuel pump relay, lowered it down to him, cut it off, plugged it in, see it, drove out.
Wow.
We're that close to the park.
Drone delivery.
That might be my favorite repair story, trail repair story
Amazon
ever.
got nothing on you.
Yeah, I mean, and he was up there for 45 minutes. He didn't wait all day. We got down, we hit the store, we had the part. My brother-in-law was like, well, we're not driving up there. Flew in, trimmed it, plugged it in.
I mean, that's a serious drone to go that far, but Wow.
But like you can order a DJI that'll do 4 miles, and we're only a half 3 miles away.
My Phantom would do 3 miles.
Oh.
Yeah. My new one
So,
will only do 2. Yeah.
Okay.
That's still pretty cool.
That's still pretty badass. Did you duct tape the little relay to the top of it?
With a string, so it hung down low enough it didn't mess with the sensors.
So we could grab it and it. Wow, that's awesome.
Oh, I love that. Have you done any East Coast wheeling?
A little bit. I did some in Georgia. Now you're testing me. 94B, Beasley's Knob.
I haven't wheeled Georgia, so
no. So you could say anything.
I was out there for a show, and I pushed my flight back so I could go wheeling the next day.
Okay.
Nice.
And so Steve from JK Land, I went and rode with him.
Gotcha.
He does some really awesome builds out there, so we got to go and.
I think I actually talked to Steve before at Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, they were the guys.
Probably.
Yeah.
He does some cool builds, really cool builds. Big motors, big axles, big tires.
Huge builds, yeah. Those things are nuts.
Wow.
They're no
joke. He
joke.
just finished his swap. He does a lot of the Hellcat swaps.
Yep.
Good dude.
Yeah. So Georgia, have you done anything else like Winrock in Tennessee or up our way?
I haven't made it there yet.
All right. So we're putting it on the calendar.
So just
you're coming out.
Come to Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion for a show, and then you just have to hit Winrock afterwards.
I think you
I just need to bring something that I can wheel the way I want to.
Yes, that's a good point.
That is a good point. But maybe if you come to PA Jeeps all breed or
anything.
Yeah.
I've done all those shows. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll keep you a couple days and we'll take you to our parks.
Heck yeah.
I'm down with that.
We'll bring the buggy.
And we'll bring Bill's buggy and my poor little
I mean, I think you're going to be surprised at what your Jeep will do now.
Yeah, well I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just got it re-geared, so I'm excited about it.
And then my JK should be done by then.
Perfect. Yeah, I just finished the Atlas in my LJ. And then been working on this YJ. That's a 92 YJ. That's 113-inch wheelbase.
Okay.
Full hydro, small block, 250.
Yeah. Now, did I see that YJ is as old as you are, or you're as old as it is?
Yeah, we're the same year, actually.
That's crazy. That's awesome, though.
Same year. So I think my mom's going to be the one driving it. She's probably listening right now in Hawaii. It's their anniversary. So happy anniversary to the parents.
Happy
anniversary.
Yeah, happy anniversary. Awesome. Oh, that's killer.
So, but yeah, it's kind of funny. My dad, he woke up late. I think I told you this, Terry. And my dad woke up late and just threw a headphone in, was listening to the podcast.
That's right.
And all of a sudden he heard Tanner licks and he woke up. He heard and looked and was like, "What time was that?" Okay, and paused it, went back to sleep, and the next morning I got a screen recording from my mom saying, "They're talking about you."
All funny. All good.
Yep.
We're not the most prepared people on the planet. So for us to preview upcoming
we're
episodes,
a fire from the hip kind of guy.
That's such an odd thing, and I'm glad that he was able to hear it and then let you know.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. He's usually how I hear about most videos and things that I'm in. My dad's like, "Did you see this?" I'm like, "No, it's been out for 7 minutes." How did you find this?
Well, that's your number one fan for sure, right?
I'm blessed in the parent world. I got some awesome parents that they love to off-road, and they supported me breaking a bunch of parts growing up. So
that's helpful.
That's awesome.
Parts aren't cheap.
my mom still can't.
I didn't say they were nice parts, all of them. I mean, I had some pretty nice Cherokees that my parents found photos later in life that I bent a drive on and did a few things. But
I've put a lot of money into a beat-up XJ. So
yeah, you have. My mom can't understand why I want to take my perfectly good Jeep and take it out and thrash it on the rocks for a while. she can't understand.
My dad had a Cherokee, and I don't even think I had a license yet. And they were out of town, so I'm like, oh, well, me and a couple friends can just go like hit the hills real quick. Like we live close.
It's off road.
And then I'll just fast forward. We're loading up the Jeep, and my dad's like, "Look at that driveline. It's got a big old dent and twist in it from rubbing it on a rock." Do you guys know how that happened?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Must have been Travis. It was my older brother. It couldn't have been me.
No.
I can't even drive fast. And so that was the night before we were leaving to Moab, and I remember my dad saying, "Well, we're not going now." And I'm like, "Oh no, I just ruined the whole trip for the family." And he was cool enough to fix it, and we went. And later, I let him borrow my memory card out of my camera, and there was pictures of the day that we were up on that rock.
Oh,
there's always evidence. Always.
Dude, solid evidence too. Like me in the seat, like
smiling.
Like, check it out. We're on 2 tires. This is awesome. Like another 6 months, I'll be able to actually drive. Yeah. Proud dad moment, sure.
Oh, for sure.
Not even plausible deniability.
Nope. The date stamp is wrong. The date stamp is wrong.
One of those that was like, see this? You're done. Like, we know.
Oh, that's awesome.
He forgave me.
All right, so let's get to Rockslide Engineering. I loved seeing the vehicles in the booth. That Raptor was pretty sweet, and the fact that Gen 3s are now available on the Bronco. How hard were those to adapt, or was it like a from ground up redesign
for the Raptor?
Well, for the Gen 3 rock slides.
Oh, Gen 3.
Going for the Bronco.
I mean, we really changed everything. We went from cold rolled to hot rolled steel, which the impact testing's way better. We went to a smart technology in the motor. We fought that technology for a long time to finally get it to really where we wanted it to be. And I mean, it reads temperature. When it's cold, it'll apply more power to the motors. When it's warm, it'll pull some of it away. But it's really just a cool system. I mean, I go out, I put them on the rocks, I use them, I know what they can take. And I don't wheel easy always. I mean, I typically like to go and see what I built can do.
Right.
And I'm okay with bumping and scratching, and I mean, that's part of the game, but it's pretty cool to see a product that gives you so much accessibility to the vehicle, from small children to somebody who's 85 years old and they still like to drive their Jeep, but they still like to go off-road. And that's a big thing for us. It's like, it's the best of both worlds.
So when
and that's our product model.
That's awesome. I know the Bronco world's kind of very new, and we're a Jeep podcast, but we're still kind of interested in what's going on in the Bronco world. From seeing that, and I got to spend some time with Broncos in this past year, and I know Bill has too.
I've spent a lot of time with Broncos.
They're impressive.
There's some really cool stuff. I mean, the Sasquatch edition, that crawl mode, and to be able to do a front dig, like literally from factory, you can do a front dig, and I'm like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah.
How big?
Used it.
Yeah.
I've spent time in Sand Hollow in a Bronco. I will double Sammy. I did Milt Smile. And I'll go from the Jeep world to the Bronco world. I've noticed that the electronics in a Bronco, you could do some crazy things with if you know how to use it.
Right.
If you don't, you can go and get stuck. But if you do know how to use it, it'll go crawl, 7s, 8s. not as comfortably as maybe for say like a Rubicon would, but I had no issues. I had 1,000 miles on it. And the boss was like, "Don't scratch it. Have fun."
Don't scratch it.
I'm like, there was only like 2 scratches, but
don't scratch it and have fun. Never go in the same sentence.
No.
Yeah, like I talked about the day we were drag racing. That I called the boss and I'm like, "Hey, this Raptor wants to drag race me. Are you cool with that?" "Yep. Have fun. Be safe." You know, like, okay. Like, cool. I asked at least, like.
Yeah.
Like, this is basically the internet. Are you cool with that? Yep. Have fun. Be safe.
The be safe part, I like that.
Yeah.
We have an actual question here, and I don't know the answer to this, but does Rockslide do custom lengths?
Typically, we don't do custom lengths. We used to back in the day, but what we found is between JK 2-door and 4-door and JT and all the different models is we can usually send something out that people can make fit relatively easy. So if there's someone wanting to do a custom thing, we've provided it tons of times. I usually just send out a raw housing. People can make it fit, send it back to me, and I'll put it all together.
Yeah. That's cool.
So,
that's really interesting.
And like even my LJ, it's a custom length slider. Just because where I stretched it, I wanted it to be a certain length. But with our new tooling and the automated system that we have to get a section cut out, it's pretty easy to do. And so our new line is pretty impressive. If you ever make it to Utah, we've got robots that are building a lot of our product at this point.
That's I've awesome. Watched the video, and I literally just watch it robotic on repeat because it's very hypnotizing. It's very cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, you lay some flat steel in, and you take it out of powder. You don't really have to touch it before then. I mean, it goes through the laser, and we have a big stacker laser that it'll just continually run, and then it goes over to the press brakes, and the robots pick it up and bend everything. It goes to the robotic welder, and it gets all welded, and then it hangs on our line and goes right through our powder coat system that we designed in-house, and by the time it hits the floor, it's cold enough you can pick it up and put it on. So
that's wild.
Cool.
That's pretty awesome. That's really awesome. Yeah. Hey, listener Troy says he loves his steps. I helped him get those, and then he got them put on. Yeah.
I've been in his Jeep and I've used them. They're really nice.
They are really nice. That's true. Down in Great Smoky Mountain. Yep. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you get used to them, it's hard to not have them. I've fallen out of vehicles because I've gotten so used to it.
Oh, I want a set, but
that's the only way I get out of vehicles is I fall out of them. It's a controlled fall.
Yeah, it happens.
When I borrow our co-host Jeep, he's got that Deegan side step that sticks out like 3.5 inches, 4 inches.
Yep.
And it's one of those it being on it and then stepping to the ground is basically the same as stepping from the inside of the Jeep. So I have to try to get over it and out. And it literally is. I wish people would just film it. We could win money on America's Home Video.
Just tear your pants getting in there.
I don't wear pants, but if it's muddy, the inside of my leg is guaranteed to be muddy.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Terry's a shorts kind of guy.
Yeah, year round.
Mm-hmm.
Well, except for SEMA, I had to wear pants.
Yeah, SEMA, and there was something else.
You're rocking the jeans.
Well, I had to go buy pants for SEMA because they said I had to wear them. I was like, all right, I'll wear them.
Mm-hmm.
We've got like a foot of snow outside already. It's pants season.
Yeah.
I have a rule: if I have to shovel the snow, then I'm wearing pants. But if I don't, then it's still shorts.
There you go. Good rule.
I think this year I've gotten to the point that my body is old now. I've actually started getting colder.
Oh.
And I'm like, am I going to have to break down and go buy another pair of pants?
How do we get on a pants topic?
There's a foot of snow and it's 20 degrees, and he's like, why am I cold?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It was a wintry mix today,
Yep.
rain and snow, and I was like, oh, screw this. This sucks.
It was snowing at the mountain.
But I need pants.
Lots of snow at the mountain.
Did you go to the mountain?
Yep.
Nice. You ski today?
Yeah.
Oh, badass. Bill's a skier, so I lose him for 3.5 months out of the year. We see each other on Sunday nights and passing at work.
Yep.
And otherwise, he's skiing.
Skiing's kind of an understatement.
Yeah, right. Well, he's competitive downhill, and he coaches as well, and so it's yeah. He break it Billy's on the mountain.
Yep. But I'm not breaking it on.
I live in Utah. You ever skied Utah?
Not yet. It's on the list.
I've skied Park City.
Yeah.
You need to.
I want to get out there.
It's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah. Like, I could leave right now and be to a ski resort in 20 minutes.
I can too. It's just not as big.
Definitely not as big.
If I'm going to a big one, I gotta go 40 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, it definitely out west. It's a different ski scenario.
Yeah. So growing up out there, where are some of your favorite wheeling spots besides Sand Hollow?
I mean, the classic Moab. You can never go wrong with Moab.
Right.
I mean, that's really where I learned how to drive. I drove Hell's Revenge the first time. I was probably 12 years old, 13 years old.
Wow.
My dad had a Cherokee that he just let me beat up and drag through, and really learned how to. That's the same one I broke the drive line in. But yeah, that's really kind of one of the favorite spots. I mean, from my house, there's 5 canyons within 20 minutes.
Okay.
So for me to let's grab a buddy, let's go cruise up the hill, and an hour later we can cruise back down. And but yeah, I mean, Parker, Arizona is a great place. Vernal, Utah has a lot of really awesome wheeling. But even just right above my house, cruising over the mountain and going to the lake and getting a raspberry shake, and I mean, that's kind of what I grew up doing.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
So, I live in the mountains, basically. So,
yeah.
And there's a lot of BLM land out there that you can access.
Yeah, there's trails open year-round that we can go. Like, next Saturday, I have some friends coming up from Salt Lake City, and we're going to go play in the snow. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm sure there'll be some carnage and some photos and some videos from that trip. But who knows? I think I'll probably take the LJ out, but I thought about taking the JT on portals just because I'll have the ground clearance to play in the snow, kind of have an advantage.
Yeah.
And all the hamsters.
But yeah, I mean, Utah's really, I mean, Fordyce in California, that's a trail I've ran. I've never done the Rubicon. It's so close to me. I've been denied like 3 times due to fire.
Oh.
But I ran Fordyce, and we started at the end. It was just a BFG run, so we were with all BFG people, and we started at the end, drove to the first turnaround, and drove out in one day.
Oh.
And so I drove 15 hours from my house there, wheeled for one day, and then the next morning they said the fires were coming and kicked us out. So I drove 15 hours home.
Oh my God. Oh.
And it was awesome.
Oh, I bet. But still, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. I borrowed the boss's Jeep. And just tossed it on its side and totally destroyed a fender, but I didn't roll it, so it could have been worse.
Yeah.
But always be worse.
I just
by the time I got back, I had fenders, powder coated, and everything. He'll listen to this, but he never actually never actually saw it too bad. But the dent doctor came through the other day and was fixing dents, and I think he saw more of what I had done at that time. It was all good. He gets it. I mean, he understands that, like, I'm not out there to beat it up, but we're going to use it and have fun and enjoy what we're doing.
Yeah, and stuff happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wheeled Hollister Hills out in, I guess, Central California. kind of real nice off-road park there. And Sedona, Sedona's just gorgeous. But it's that whole red rock.
Yep.
But actually, it's a mixture of red clay too. It's an interesting, interesting place to wheel.
Yeah, if you guys could make it Trail Hero, that event in San Hollow is one to see. I mean, it's impressive. It's the scene of off-road events, really. But you get to wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely on the list. It's just, it's a long drive.
It's a whole 360 miles.
Yeah.
So I'm northern Utah, but like I say, where my parents' house is there, I leave my Jeep there.
Right.
I mean, Rich that puts it on, he's kind of a pain in the butt. I hope he sees this because I tell him that. I tend to give him a hard time often. He deserves it, but it's all good.
Everybody deserves
Utah,
it sometimes.
If you want to wheel and you can make it to Utah, you'll have an amazing time. Utah has some of the best wheeling. I would put that against anybody's parks or states, but
heck yeah,
I'm gonna hold true that Utah has the best wheeling.
Would definitely the best scenery while you're wheeling for sure.
Yeah,
exactly. There's perks to it all, but
yeah. Well, come out. We'll take you. It's interesting because I've wheeled Moab a few times and wheel out here, and I find that out there seems to be more dangerous for sure. But I traction most of the time isn't the issue. There's some really interesting off camber and angles and steps that you have to climb. But it's like here traction is a lot,
hit or miss.
Yeah, but sometimes if you're going to roll over, that tree's going to catch you before you roll.
Yeah,
which makes it equally challenging, right? But we'd love to have you come out and spend a weekend with us. And
heck yeah,
I'd love to. I need to just get one of my vehicles and bring them out there and just use it.
Yeah, use it for the show, and then we'll spend a couple days extra. And
my issue is I like old stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, my OJ is my newest vehicle.
I like that.
I mean, I have like cars and stuff that don't count, but when it comes to Jeeps, the Willys is a 53, the YJ is a 92, but no wheel speed sensors, no check engine lights. I just it was all off, like very easy going. But yeah, I'd love to come out there and wheel and spend time. Out here, I mean, half the fun for me is spotting people, bringing new people out, and watching their confidence level go from none to I got this. Like I don't even need you anymore.
Yep. I've been doing a lot of spotting. This year, my Jeep was down for a while, so I would go out with people, but I would ride shotgun and jump out and spot and help everybody through the obstacles. And that's such a great skill to have, and not everybody is good at it, right? And I'm not good at it yet, but I'm getting better at it, and I'm getting more confident. And if the spotter is confident, then that adds confidence to the driver as well.
You can tear somebody down and make them uncomfortable, or you can build them up and make them be like, "Oh, I'm fine. I don't feel good, but he says I'm fine, so I'm fine."
Right? Exactly.
And that's half the fun, and nobody communicates the same way.
Right.
Like everyone, when you say driver and they just honk it passenger, you're like other driver. Like,
your other driver, yeah.
Like, yeah, that's your wife. She's not driving. You're driving. And to see people just in fear, and you're like, if you were standing out here, you wouldn't be scared.
Right.
But in there, it feels terrible.
Right.
And so I don't know. That's half the fun for me anymore. And we spend so much time as a family out on the trails that we always stumble across somebody that needs help.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And you go out and you're sick of your older brother, the little brother, and we've been poking at each other for a few days, being back in the house together after years. And then we go out and we help somebody, and none of that matters.
Right.
That's cool.
I love that about you, and I know that you have the best spirit for helping. Because I experienced it the first time you and I met was we were having trouble with the YJL at work, out in Moab, and you came up.
Yeah, Moab. Yeah.
Hey, is there anything I can do? Can I help? And it was one of those things where we already had 4 or 5 hands in it already, and so we were on our way out. But you offering and being available was just pretty awesome.
Well, I'm like, yeah, you guys go get dinner. Leave it at my place. I'll go mess with it. I'll see if I can figure it out. You've been cussing at this thing all day. Sometimes it just takes fresh eyes.
Sometimes it does, for sure.
There was no hope for that YJ.
No, it's still under the knife. It's still under the knife right now, trying to get it. It's the temperament.
We'll bring it out, leave it at Rockslide. We'll go use it. I'll take videos and send it to you guys.
Nice, perfect. I'm sure you'll see it soon enough. It'll be
hopefully
it'll be out your way again. I hope.
Yeah, it has our fenders on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's true. And now is that a product? That's a product you guys offer, right? Or is it
we
not?
actually don't offer fenders anymore.
Oh,
they're one and only.
They were a lot to build. They were all aluminum.
Oh, right.
And with this automated system, we just decided to stick to what we're good at and keep building step sliders. And we're looking to expand more and more.
Yeah,
we were Jeep only. We picked up the Bronco, and hopefully next time we talk, I can name a few more brands that we can offer them for.
That'd be cool. So I saw you guys are also bumpers, armor, side armor, rocker armor, front rear bumper, lighting brackets,
accessories. Yep. Our tailgate table's huge.
Yeah, really nice.
Tons of those. They're awesome. If once you have one and you get used to using it, it's just you have your spot. And so you open up the tailgate, and you fold it down, you have your spot to put everything, whether it's a grill, you're making sandwiches, whatever you're doing, it's just a nice little accessory that only takes up an inch of space.
Yeah.
And the two levels.
Two levels is really nice.
That's really nice.
So we actually just got a patent on that.
Anything else you want to plug for Rockslide before I let you go? Because we've kept you way longer than you
than usually.
Yeah.
No worries. We're just hanging. No, really just keep in touch with Rockslide. We've got some big stuff coming. We've been so hard focused on getting these robots in this facility going to our standards. And now, I think the light at the end of the tunnel's close, and we can really start to produce some pretty incredible things. And we've got new product coming out, potentially for the whole truck market.
No.
Not just Jeeps. So we're looking to expand, and now that we have the tooling to do such things, I think we're really going to have some things to bring to the table. To anybody listening, I'm happy to set up a code and let's do a discount.
That'd be awesome.
For any of the listeners in, and we can just do the Jeep podcast, and I'll make that a code. And if anybody needs anything, we're happy to support it. We build everything in Utah. I really work for the most kick-ass company you could possibly work for.
Yeah.
So I can't say anything bad about that. I'm very fortunate, and living in Utah, working for Rockslide, kind of a dream come true, really.
No doubt. I follow you on social media, and so I get to, I get to see and drool over the cool things you do, and
you do some pretty cool things though, Terry. So
yeah, I am lucky in that standpoint as well.
Well, I'm thinking we need to do a cheap build off where we have a small budget and we all meet up in 2 different locations, I'm down. I'll try to drive across country to show up.
That'd be a good
A
idea.
Willie's wagon going across country.
I love it.
I'm not scared.
I love it. Yeah,
so I'm down. I'm totally cool with doing some cheap builds and just going, and it's nice to not care and drag it through. And
that would be a good idea.
If you're ever in Utah, you give me a ring and we'll go have some good fun.
I'm in.
I'm in for that as well.
Dave Gerard just said he's in too, so I bet we can get a nice crowd going for sure. Where can people find you and follow all your fun stuff?
I mean, Instagram, I go by that LJ guy. Facebook, I'm Tanner Ricks. You can always follow us on Rockslide Engineering's page. But yeah, keep in touch on there. I've got a lot of builds going at the moment, between YJs and JTs and LJ, the Willies. There's a lot going on. Just say we're going to have a bunch of new products coming out soon. But like you say, I'm fortunate just to do some really cool stuff and be involved in such a cool industry with so many amazing people. Overwhelming amount of support from so many companies. I couldn't possibly name them all. But it's pretty cool that we get to do what we get to do and call it a job.
Yeah, right. And we that isn't lost on either one of us that we're in the industry as well and get to play for work, kind of.
Oh, yeah. And, there's a lot of people who think that's all I do is play. And, I do. And I enjoy it. And I love it. And if you love what you're doing, you're always playing. You're never working.
Yeah.
So
even the hard work is playing. Yep.
I play a lot and I work a lot, but I get to call it fun.
I love it. Well, Tanner, it's been awesome having you on. Anytime you want to come back, and I know that we kind of we wanted to meet you and get our listeners to know you and what you're building and all that cool stuff. But anytime you want to come back and release a new product here or do anything like that with Rockslide, and the door is always open.
Perfect.
We live in such short notice. Hell, it could be 20 minutes. Hey, dude.
Hey, what's up?
Are you doing anything?
I'm not busy, are you?
Let's do it. But, man, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot for coming and hanging out with us. And, I can't wait for us to hang again in person.
I agree with that.
Yep. Anytime. I appreciate you having me. And like I say, maybe we do a 3-month follow-up and see where I'm at in the midst of all these builds. And we'll have new products. We'll have a lot of things coming that I'm pretty dang excited about. But I'll keep it on a tight rope until we're ready.
It sounds good. That's the way you should do it, right? Keep it close to the vest.
I like it.
Well, Tanner, I appreciate it.
I appreciate both of you. I appreciate, taking the time and working through the technical difficulties.
And, that was always a challenge, right? But I want to get with you offline. I'll text you Monday or something, and we'll get a code for our listeners how they can, get some cool slides.
Yeah. We'll do an announcement. It'll work on any of our product, and throughout the holidays, we're happy to take care of all your people and push it out to where we can.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, thanks again, and everybody, Tanner Ricks. All right, thanks, buddy.
Hey, thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Have a great night.
All right, you too. Everybody else, stay on with us. We're going to actually do the rest of our show.
The intro.
In the studio of Magic. All right, see you, bye.
Charger real quick.
Hey, thank you. Catch you later.
See ya.
I'm getting my charger.
All right. Hey, we're going to take a 40-second break while Billy charges up gets his charger for his computer. And then we'll just do the first half of our normal episode, and it'll be fun. That was fun hanging out with Tanner. And then, of course, when I edit this, the front half of the show will be at the beginning like it always is, and we'll go from there. But Tanner's a cool dude. He's even equally cool in real life. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I drank a beer with him or two. Give me. As I can think I can plug it in right here.
We're having all kinds of problems tonight.
Yeah. Computer problems. Yeah. Let me get up where we are because we're no longer.
All right, so I can officially say my stickers are international.
Oh yeah,
they're in Japan.
They're in Japan. Nice. All right, what are we doing here? Oh yeah, we're gonna start at the beginning. I'm not even gonna push a button.
Just add it in.
Just add it. I'll add it in later. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Jeep Life podcast. We're that podcast where we celebrate that Jeep life and everything that comes along with it. I am one of your hosts, Trail Time Terry, and I'm joined as always the coolest Breaky Billy.
What's going on, man?
I love the hype. I love it.
Absolutely. I'm excited for tonight.
Yeah, tonight's a big deal, and we'll let you know that we've got an interview with Tanner Ricks from Rockslide Engineering coming up a little bit later.
Absolutely.
Such a cool dude, and I know that you will enjoy it.
Dude, I follow him on Instagram, and he does some pretty cool stuff.
He does. He's borderline legendary, and he's still so young.
So I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
When you said Tanner Ricks, I was like, what, who? And then I looked him up, and you were like, oh, Rockslide Engineering's been there a long time. I thought he was a lot older.
No, he's a young dude.
He is.
Yeah, I was 22 when he was born, so.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's a young dude.
Cool.
I mean, he's like you know. But he brings some things to the table. I know he's done some great builds, and so you'll enjoy that.
Absolutely.
We had a company party.
We had company work party last night,
and that was great.
It was a great time.
Yeah, it was.
Shout out to Quadratech.
Yeah,
and that Quadratech family that we're part of, and
it's such. I love. We have an email that we literally just got.
Wow.
And I'm going to read it, and I wasn't going to read it, but because it really does celebrate Quadratech a lot.
Oh.
But it's new Jeep owner gift list, and that was last week's episode that we did, and the podcast was spot on with us and our 2021 Rubicon JLU. I've been contemplating running boards to replace our OEM Jeep rock rails, along with other items being mirrors to drive with doors off and entry guards to protect the paint and the door sills. And they had ordered some items from Quadratech on Black Friday.
Mm-hmm.
They got the Quadratech Brute Strength side steps.
Yeah.
For the JL. Very cool side steps. Yeah. Very strong. The doors off mirrors from Quadratech and entry guards, Quadratech front and rear, and that was on our list.
Yes, it was
of things. So it's cool. The Jeep has the original Rubicon rock rails that don't work out all that well as a side step.
No, they don't.
No, they're lacking in the side step
factor.
Yeah, there's no step to it, right? It keeps a rock off your rocker panels and doors, so that's good. The Quadratech model incorporates a step service for easy access without losing ground clearance and are rugged enough for wheeling. Yeah, you can lay them on a rock.
Absolutely.
For sure. Extremely impressed with Quadratech. They made purchases. It says we made the purchases on Black Friday and received the shipment by that Monday.
Yep. Yeah,
that's nuts.
Well, Quadratech does have 2-day shipping across the United States.
And they went on to say there was a better discount available to them when they actually did it, and so Quadratech Retro
absolutely
added that in.
They're gonna price match.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And so that thanks Terry, Don, and Billy. We're loving the Jeep life. May you and your family have a Merry Christmas and the best New Year. And that's from Dave and Eileen and Maple Shade, New Jersey.
Big Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you as well.
Yeah, so that's awesome. I love getting those emails. And send them into info@jeeplifepodcast.com. And, we'll read yours on the air, or maybe we've had some emails become show topics.
Absolutely.
And we love when that happens, because then we don't have to really think about it. We just plug it in and go. Is there anything new in the Jeep life? Because
I got a cover. A rain cover.
Oh, I did see that. I did
on the
see
buggy.
that.
So speaking of Quadratec makes awesome quick rain fly covers that you can store in the back. But
yeah, I've got 2 of them.
Right. So I figured out that the buggy's almost an LJ.
Yeah.
So I got an LJ rain cover, and it fits great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Might have to lengthen the straps a little bit or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so difficult to find stuff for that because custom cage.
Right, I was going to say the cage impacts it.
Right, so that's a huge impact on it. But
because I have 2 JKU covers, I should bring one over for you.
I have one too.
All right, never mind. I'll shut up now.
No, I was just looking for something that was a little more specific to it.
Yeah.
So, and this solves the problem of if I'm up at AOAA or something, or out on the trails,
right.
And we're back at the site and it starts drizzling, or to keep the dew off the seats in the morning. That's what I was really looking for.
That's so smart. I love that.
And sometimes we get a pop-up shower at night.
Yeah, so we do.
That's new in my Jeep life. I mean, so I'm still waiting on purchasing parts and this and that for Big Red's revision again.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I got nothing. I need to fill my power tank, and I keep forgetting to do that. And I've been in the vicinity of the place to do it, and I didn't have my power tank with me because I've taken my security box out.
Yep.
Because I went on a trip and I needed the extra space, and I needed Lexi's goalkeeper gear and everything. Yep. So I was like, I'll just take that out, and I had my power tank mounted on it.
So it all came out.
And I need to remember just to grab it out of the garage,
right,
and take it with me. So that's on my list of to do this week.
I am going to give a plug to our YouTube channel. That is what's new on the YouTubes. So as you know, I was out wheeling a couple weekends ago with some of those comp buggies, and the video has just released. So I'm going to give a plug to our YouTube channel. Head over there, Jeep Life Podcast.
The video is cool.
It was a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one. So definitely check it out.
And the title is, Did I Roll It?
We're going to leave it there because you need to find out.
Absolutely.
You need to find out what Breakabilly did.
Heck yeah. And there's another video in the pipeline. So we're, rolling in for the next one next week.
This week. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm not giving anything away there at all.
Nope.
So we don't have no listener questions. No, I knew this was going to.
Well, it's getting to that time of year.
Yeah, it is, and we're going to try to keep up, and then maybe we'll give us a week or so off at the holidays, and then we'll come back strong with season 4.
Yep.
Season 4. 4.
Wow. We've been doing this for going on 4 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
This is a long. Wow.
Yeah, and we still like each other.
I'm surprised we lasted this long. Gotta be honest.
Yeah, well, when I stole you away and bagged you, I was
hard.
I was still going, man, is this thing gonna
really
take off? Is it gonna work?
Dude, almost 1,000 followers on YouTube. I mean, 2,000 followers on Instagram. Yeah. We're just building, and it's still going.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody that you know that has a Jeep Life Podcast, best podcast out there. And make sure to hit that like and subscribe on all platforms. It really helps us out.
Oh, for sure. So our upcoming guest is actually throwing questions into but what is your favorite recovery gear product?
Product?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming he's talking a recovery strap or
anything that you would have in your bag, right?
For me, I absolutely love. I actually learned how to tie the knot for soft shackles.
Oh, yeah.
So it's called a button knot, and they're really simple. You can go online, look it up on YouTube, but I had a whole bunch of Dyneema rope laying around, which is the stuff that was made for, that soft shackles is made out of. And I tied myself custom length soft shackles. So I have a short one, so it's like a 6. I have an 8.
Yep.
I have a 12, and then I made a 24.
Nice.
So that is my favorite recovery gear. The safety alone on it is huge because, soft shackles, they don't store the energy like a, D-ring or something like that.
My favorite actually is on the front of my Jeep right now. It's the Factor 55 closed system.
Yep. The thimble.
And
ProLink.
It's the ProLink, right.
Yep.
I would say the Ultra Hook because it's just badass.
Well, I think something dropped at SEMA that's a whole lot more badass.
Yeah. True.
It's in the works.
If
you look at the new Quadratech.
Yeah. Is that the...
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I'm allowed to talk about it somewhat now.
Well, I was going to say it was on the front of a vehicle in SEMA.
It is a nesting hook and fair lead for the front of your Jeep. It's a replacement fair lead and hook that uses a double shear pin on one side, another double shear pin on the other side. It's a completely closed winching system.
Yep.
And brake strength through the roof.
Yeah, the nesting part's really cool.
Nesting, so yeah. And it looks like a giant badass buckle on the front of your Jeep.
Wow, yeah. Maybe one of those will find on the front.
We're working on production, but it was released at SEMA, so we can talk about it.
Nice.
So that's going to be my new favorite
right, well,
item.
I can't wait to go out and play with that. I know I was with you during some of the testing and everything, and it's definitely an impressive.
I mean, it's designed to go on a 16,000-pound winch.
Yeah,
like it's rated to hold it.
Nice. So that would be my favorite, and then when that sitting
drops,
we'll see about that.
Uh-huh.
That's cool. Good question, Tanner. Thanks. I'm always down about those listener questions. I know we take them as we go. Sometimes we have you call in. We just do it all.
Yep. Jack of all trades.
Events. It's that time of year. There's not a lot going on.
There's not, but I can say that I personally will be one of the trail guides at Ultimate 4x4 Field Trip in AOAA. So,
that's awesome.
We're gonna be having a good time up at AOAA for the Ultimate 4x4 Field Trip.
Yeah, go sign up for that, and you can hang out with Bill.
Hang out with me. You get to hang out with a lot of other influencers that are out. Some of the really big names are going to be there. So, last year was a blast. You saw the videos. Go back to Ultimate 4x4 Field Trip on YouTube, and you can see the amazing time we had with Marvin Stammel, Off-Road and Chill, Bleep and Jeep, Kate, Psycho Cupcake, and, Holly Fowler, Walter, Chuck Converse. It was a pretty badass event.
Yeah.
So huge shout out to Chris Miller. He is putting this on, and we're going to actually have him on next season. I can say that. We're going to be having Chris on to talk about the Ultimate 4x4 Field Trip, what it all entails. It's a full weekend of action-packed off-roading, hanging out with influencers, and some of, the coolest wheeling around, too.
Yeah.
So,
and those are all good people. I've met all of them. They're great people. And so good people to hang out with.
And you could be on their YouTube videos, too.
Yeah. That's the cool part, right?
Heck yeah.
I love that. Oh, hey, we've got somebody calling in right now.
Ding-ling-ling, ding-ling-ling, ding-ling-ling.
Yeah, there we go. Through the magic of that, we'll have Tanner's interview
thrown in right there.
Right here. Hey, where can people find us?
Well, I want you to head over to the Googles and just type in Jeep Life Podcast. You will get hooked up with all of our...
That's the easy way.
We have a link tree, linktr.ee/Jeep Life Podcast, and that has all of our links on it as well.
That's
YouTube,
the second easy way.
Instagram, everything.
Patreon.
There's some new articles that are getting posted up on Patreon.
So we'd love your patronage and your support.
It really helps us out.
It does. I mean, I'm not begging or anything, but
I'm going to beg.
please, no. But if you feel like you want to support us, we've got some great patrons on there already, and we're thankful for them. We need to come up with a nickname for those folks.
Absolutely.
Something really cool and not asinine.
They're our lifers.
They are. Everybody's our lifers, though.
I know.
We got to come up with something. We'll come up with something catchy and fun. Hey, if you've got a...
Hey, I'm going to give myself a plug right now.
Do it.
Break It Billy stickers are in.
Oh, yeah.
They're back in. I got full stock. If you want a sticker, shoot me a message on Instagram, Facebook, through the jeeplife podcast email. They are $3. So really that just kind of covers them and the postage to get it to you.
I bet we could do some Venmo action with that.
Yeah,
right?
It works. So actually I've been using Venmo and PayPal and stuff. So
that's wonderful.
Like I said, just reach out to me. I can get them out in the mail to you.
Sounds good. Well, everybody, hey, our thanks to Tanner Ricks for coming on and hanging out with me.
Huge thanks.
That guy's awesome.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to do an episode with him on the mic in the studio.
In a Jeep and
we could do that.
800 horsepower and tires squealing, and that's my kind of guy.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
He's built some wild rigs.
And he's been doing it all of his life. He would be somebody I would be considered an expert, right?
Yes, yeah. I would give him the expert stamp.
Oh, we need an expert stamp. Oh, you're coming up with all the goodies.
I don't know.
Tonight.
Wait, so we'll talk about this later. I may have been drunk laying in bed the other night, and I actually wrote it down.
You did?
I wrote it down. So, you always have the good ideas right before you're going to bed, and you're like, oh, I should really write this down. Well, I grabbed my phone.
And you did.
I came up with names for my off-road shop.
Oh, nice. Maybe we'll make an episode out of that.
Heck yeah.
I love it. Hey, but wait. Last night we got to hang out with Matt from Huddy's Beard Balm.
And let me tell you, he has I smelled his beard.
Yeah, it's luscious.
It smells delicious.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for any type of beard balm, Terry has a beard. I'm working on my little scruffle. My little scruffle here. But if you need anything, head over to huddysbeardbalm.com.
Yeah.
And he has great gift sets. So
it's that time of the year.
Any of the ladies out there listening, you want to get something for your husband?
Yeah.
Or boyfriend or anything?
Yeah, and he's got a badass gladiator too.
He has a really badass gladiator Squatch.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I know. Let's get off here. I'm tired. It was a rough night.
Hey, big Jeep wave to you guys.
Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight. I know we started a little late, and I apologize about that, but all is good now, and it's been a lot of fun. And our thanks to Tanner for coming and hanging out with us and putting up with our technical gremlins.
Yeah. Oh, well.
It happens.
Yep.
All right, everybody. We'll see you soon.